Welcome to the C Word Podcast. I'm Samaj, and I greet you in the love and the light of the infinite Creator. Don't let the name fool you. The C, as you will find, is all about you. What we desire to do here is create a conversation around my book, The C Word, and some of the principles behind it, to lead you, the seeker, on a journey. A journey of freedom. Freedom from limiting thoughts, borrowed beliefs, and false perceptions. A journey of self-truth. If you're already on a path, then it's to help bring clarity on the journey. I've walked the path. I can help you identify the walls you built and the ruts that you're in, and give you some tools to create a new life. I'm a hands-on healer of energy and light, teacher of my own integrative flow technique. I'm a student of the universal law of one, and a certified life coach, helping you to get clear your direction. I'm called Father, Husband, Grandfather, Sifu, and Guru. I'm on this journey with you. We are one. My desire is to live this quote, which simply says, "The best teachers are those who show you where to look, but don't tell you what to see." Let's begin. Hey guys, this is Samaj, and so I welcome you to this podcast. And just at this moment, I really got this huge feeling of how important those first words were, because this is the beginning of something new. And so unless you've, done a podcast before or stepped into something new before, man, the first time is huge. So first, let me say I thank you for being here to experience this experience for me. My first episode of many episodes to come. I speak prophetically, because man, this is part of a huge journey. So I guess what I hope to get out of this first podcast is to one, introduce you to myself and introduce you to my book, The C Word, which is available on Amazon, and I'll have all that in the show notes. And to introduce you to a couple of the principles, which there are many, and perspectives, and give you an opportunity on this first episode to maybe hear some things that might interest you, to keep hanging out with me and watch this thing grow into whatever it's supposed to. Why this? Well, it's because it's what's next for me. At this point in my journey, and it's been a long one, I've gotten real good at listening, and mostly listening to God as the Creator presents Himself to me. And what I've found, well, let me put it this way. I have always been intrigued with my background, my family being Christians in their religious foundation, and Baptist as a part of that, what do you want to call it, descriptor, right? But, and see, this is what makes me me. All right. I have this innate ability to say why. I mean, ever since before I was 2, I was always saying why, and I would continue to say why until it made sense to me. And that's been a major director in the life that is me. Why? And one of the whys that I've asked since childhood, is that, when you start off and you're understanding, the Bible, you'll see that in the first part of the Bible, God spoke to people, and I just thought that would be so cool to have God himself say words to me, myself, and know where I was going and what I was doing, and knowing purpose, and all those guys who God spoke to, no matter what the situation was, they knew God was speaking to them. And the thing that always baffled me was why it stopped. Direct contact. God just said that we weren't good enough to talk to, so I'll just send other people to talk to you because y'all ain't listening to me. And that, of course, wasn't the case. But I would always just wonder why God didn't, which was, later in life, even a bigger problem, because God started talking to me. And of course, I didn't know it wasn't a good thing to tell everybody that God talks to you, because now I've got another classification. Okay, delusional. Okay, crazy. Okay, that's awesome. That's just the devil. And those judgments, man, it's like we consider ourselves these forward-thinking people. And wouldn't it be a good thing that God still speaks to people? And so I guess it's just the messenger. So I've gotten used to listening, not necessarily saying anything, but definitely listening, because in my experience, God's speaking to us all the time, and we kind of miss it because we spend a lot of time trying to figure out how's it happening. And now I'm kind of speaking to the people who are in the same boat that I am. The ones who know that there's so much more to be said. And we understand that what we've learned up to this point has been filtered, diluted, at least passed on with an intent in and of itself. None of us come into this world knowing what we know now. And what we know now is just a process of a lot of teachers, influencers, if you will, a lot of people who are given the power of helping us become wonderful beings. And of course, some of us don't get good teachers. Some of us have great teachers. And some of us learn that even though our good, great teachers were our parents, of course, and they're limited to their understanding and perspectives. Doesn't make them wrong. Doesn't make you wrong. It just makes it what it is. But we also have the ability, once we get older, to choose for ourselves what's going to matter. And that's what I'm trying to put forward in the book, right? And that's kind of what my purpose is. Not kind of, that is my purpose. Over the past 40-something years of studying and defining just things for myself, realizing that according to the law of allowance, I get to do that. I get to dive into whatever I want to and let you do the same. And as we interact and learn, I get to allow you to grow on your path without having it affect my path if I don't want it to. But that's what I found out. And when it was laid down to me is, no, you wander and you wonder for a purpose. Because when you find answers, it is now your job, your duty / purpose, to point people in a direction. Now, if you haven't caught on, I mean, in the past 5 to 10 years, man, there's been this huge growth of people who ask questions. And these are my favorite people in the world. Most of them are young. And to me, young is, 40 and under. And what that means to me is that there's this new process of learning, and a lot of them are talking to me. And it's not because, I'm some dude that needs to be talked to. I truly believe that people are led to wherever they need to go. There's a saying that says when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. But you know what happens? Sometimes the teacher needs to be told to appear. I feel like I've been sequestered for the past 40-something years because what I had to say, if I said it too much, I'd be one of those crazy people. And come to find out, I am one of those crazy people. But now, the time has come for people to hear what I have to say. So that's part of the why. That's part of the what I'm doing, because God said so. And I don't care what you think. I'm joking. I still don't. But that's what I'm here for, is to put it out there. There used to be a period in my life where I did a lot of work as a motivational speaker. And the hardest part about being a motivational speaker is finding out that you can't be a motivational speaker. And it's pretty frustrating when you're motivating and you're speaking and people don't change. It's tough when you have the expectation of people listening to you and changing. That's one piece of that puzzle. But the other part of that puzzle is that, doggone it, I can't change anybody. I can't motivate anybody to do anything. So I had to redub myself as an inspirational speaker. And I can handle that one a little bit easier. Inspire people to do something. Make an action. That's the motivation. You can't make anybody do anything. And it was frustrating to me because here I was, motivational speaker, and people asking me the same questions over and over again. Not because they were dense, but because they just like getting information. And they would get the information and not do anything with it. And I would say, do something with it. And they'd say, okay. And then they would do nothing. So that was one of those things, man. It was just like, okay. And it was humbling. And it puts you back a notch. Understanding who you are, what you do. And who I am, what I do is, I'm a high-powered resource page. I think that's what time on earth does for a person, is give you experience. And that's really the only real teacher, right? Is experience. Because there's a lot of us who have been told that certain things are certain ways, and doggone it, because the people who told us, we have to believe it, and we grow up believing it until we have an experience. Now, there's things you can do with an experience, right? You can have the experience and then go into this horrible case of denial. Oh, well, even though it happened, it didn't happen. And I won't look into it any further because it just doesn't jive with what I grew up with, what I was told, how they said it had to be. So now you get another option, is that you look at that experience and go, not what I've known, but can't deny that. And so I've learned or taken my experiences and I put them down so I get a new definition of truth. Okay, for you, this may not be the experience, but in my experience, because I experienced it, it is true. Right? So, in the book, that's what I did. I put down a lot of truths for me and point people in a direction of finding truth for themselves. These past couple years have been a test on a whole bunch of truths that a lot of us grew up believing. But as we've grown older, as we've stepped into our self-discovery, there are a lot of experiences we're having that you got to have somebody to talk to about it. And so that's where I've kind of been in the work that I do now. And, what I hope to be doing in the future is to be this pointer. If you're on a path, great. If you're following that path and you have questions, I may not be able to give you an answer, but I might be able to point you in the right direction. So, I guess that's what I'm doing. And once again, I guess that's why you're here. I mean, you had to click the right buttons to get here right now at this time to be listening to what I'm saying. And that's just a matter of listening. Something told you to click, something told me to speak, and now we're here together, and that's awesome to me. So It all comes down to perspectives. And so as you listen, understand that this is not a motivational podcast. I'm not trying to make you think or be or do anything. I'm just offering a perspective on some things that I want to have a perspective on. And I hope we get to share time together. You listen and, you can give me feedback, your perspective on my perspectives. And we can go on and on as we create. I hope you get to enjoy the process of watching me process. It's beginning. So when we come back, we'll take all these perspectives and put them down in the next episode. So I guess that's it. We'll start with the book on the next episode. I'm Samaj, and I leave you in the love and the light of the infinite Creator. Go forth, therefore, and rejoice in the power and the peace of the one infinite Creator. Peace. Namaste. That wraps it up for today's episode. I appreciate you all for listening and watching this podcast. It matters to me. If you'd like to go deeper on any topic, we have additional resources linked in the show notes. If you're getting value from this show or have feedback, feel free to reach out to me at samaj@agreatnewyou.com or by leaving us a rating here. Thanks for listening. Namaste.